La 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 la. Woo.
Okay, hello guys. So, today I have made something that has been made before, but I decided to put my own little twist on it. I have seen plenty of people have made whips that you can use to grab onto certain objects, and then you can, swing across and stuff. But a lot of them only worked for like one specific area. Like I remember I saw one where the guy used a lead. Oh, and they all used leads. Where the guy used a lead, and he hooked onto a fence, and it would summon TNT, but it only worked for one specific area. You would have to set it up to work for each and every single place that you wanted it to work on. And that's how a lot of them were. A lot of them were you would have to set it up for each and every little spot. But so I have made it so that it works anywhere in the world. All you have to do is make it so that it's a birch fence. Right here, a birch fence. This is what the player will be able to swing on, and only a birch fence. So if it was a regular fence, then it wouldn't work at all. It has to be a birch fence. And this can actually be changed, and I'll show you how to change it. So it could be any block at all, but I just kept it as birch fence just because I like the look. And you can also change how accurate the whipping is. So I remember I saw in like a really old, stupid ninja movie I saw a really long time ago, where the guy kept throwing a grappling hook, and it took 1 or 2 tries for it to actually hook on to swing. And so I have it set up so it takes 1 or 2 tries. But you can change it so it works every time, and I'll show you how to do that too. And that works everywhere in the world. And I've also made it so that if you whip an animal or any mob that's not a player, so it doesn't work on players sadly, then they get basically paralyzed, and they're like stunned for a second, and there's some cool little particles, as you can see. And I used a very similar way to do this that I did in my Ice Bros video. So come over here, just down right about here. It works anywhere, but then we do that. Then bam, and you probably see exactly how it works right there, but I'll go ahead and explain it anyway. So I might not explain everything too clear, and I apologize for that, and because of that, I will be leaving a world download in the description. But so, this is how it works. I've split it up into 2 parts. This part right here, separated by this, is just for the whip part, for hitting animals and mobs and stuff. And, oh, and it also works for any mob, so if I, oh my god, what is that? Summon a villager, then let's summon, just summon a blaze, why not? Bam, works for a blaze, and then if I come over here and I hit the village, oh, there we go. You see that the blaze is no longer stunned, but the villager is. So it works independently for each and every mob. And so if I just kill at E type equals not a player, just because I don't like the noise that blazes make. So here it is. I'm using 3 scoreboards. Scoreboard objectives list. I'm using 3. Kill was used for testing, so it's not needed. It's hit, back, and time, and those are all dummies. So right here, this is just setting the weather. Players don't need it. Right here, this is a fill clock. And then right over here, this is executing. Nope. Here it is. Right here. This is executing at all entities named unknown to add all players, or not all players, my bad. I always say that. It's the 4th time I've tried to record this, and I always say it. All entities that are not a player, that are not an item, and that are not named unknown, in a radius of 1 to hit 1. So, and it also only does it to 1 entity. So, in case you didn't know, if I do say at E, you can clearly see it's only me. Then if I throw it, it's unknown. So this little thing is named unknown, and I tried to do type unknown, but it wasn't working. So it was named unknown. I don't know what the actual name of it is, or what the type of it is, but it's named unknown. So it adds them to a hit score, and it only does 1, as you can see, count 1. Adds them to a hit score. Then if you are in the hit score, here it is, this scoreboard player set all entities that aren't a player and that have a hit score of 1 to time, and it sets them, not adds them, sets them to 100. Then, where is it? Here it is. Right here, This is constantly removing one time score from all entities that have at least one time. So this is set up so that it doesn't go below 0 and it stops right at 0. Then this right here resets all players' hit scores if they're in the time score. So you whip, you get put into the hit score, then you get the time score of 100, and then you get removed from the hit score. Then, alright, over here it is. This executes at all entities that are in the hit score to do an entity data at all entities in the hit score to have no AI. So they don't have any AI, that's what causes them to freeze. Then, right here, this adds all entities that have a time score equal to 0. So if it's 0, it puts them into the back score. Then if you're in the back score, it gives them AI again, and then this is constantly resetting everyone's back score. And then right here, this is doing the particle crit, 2 blocks above each player or entity in the time score. Excuse me. So that does like the little star particles, you know, like for being stunned and stuff that are in some little kid cartoons. So that's just for that. So if you don't want to use the whipping part, then don't bother with that. So right here, this is the actual whipping part. And this is executing at the name equals unknown to fill a small area, right here, this small area with sponge 1, which is wet sponge, and then replace birch fence. Then this is also doing the exact same command, except it's filling it, the exact same area with birch fence, replace wet sponge. And that's how I can detect if a player is trying to whip on, if a player is trying to whip. So that's why it works anywhere in the world. And by doing that, I can get an output through this comparator, and I'll come back to this command block. I can get an output through this comparator to set this block to redstone block and then back to air. And so if you're going to import this into your own world, then you're going to want to change up these coordinates. So you can't just copy this with MC-Edit if you download the world. And so that block is right here. So then it sets it to redstone block and then back to air. And this is filling this whole area down here with redstone blocks and then back to stone. And this was generated, this and that was generated with crushed pixels directions filter edited by NanoRex, and I'll put a link in the description to the video by Crushed Pixel where you can download this filter. And so what this does is this executes at all players with a very specific rotation to summon an armor stand named Whipder with the marker 1 tag. So this only works in 1.8.1 because we need the marker tag. And right here it summons it 1 block in front. So the way that it's set up is that if I'm facing this way, it'll summon it right there. Facing this way, it'll summon it right there, there, and right there. So you get the idea. And so then right here, this is a little timer that I made. This is a block data onto this one, and then it sends out an output using repeaters, and that causes this a little timer. And this sets this block to redstone and then back to air, and it's right here. Oh, and these 2 command blocks are what we're going to be using to generate this when I show you them see it. So right here, sets it to redstone block and then back to air. And what this does is this is another fill thing, right here. And this executes at all entities that are named Whipder, and then these numbers actually don't mean anything. This was for something I was testing. I was trying to get it so that it does it at its rotation, but it didn't work, and I didn't feel like generating the command blocks again, so these numbers don't affect anything at all. And then what it does is it summons an arrow, 1 block in front and 1 block above and 1 block in front of the armor stand, so it doesn't hit the armor stand. And it has a custom name of Build the Arrow with a motion. So it has a motion, so it fires off. And then that's basically how the whole system does the swing. But so right here, what this does is this tests for all entities that are an arrow named Build the Arrow to be in ground 1. And if that's true, it comes over here, and it TPs all players to all entities named Build the Arrow. Then it kills Build the Arrow, and then it kills Whipper. So just as a basic rundown, take this, you swing, armor stand gets summoned there, an arrow fires off in that direction, gets stuck into the ground, we get teleported, then the arrow and the armor stand are both killed. And that's how this swinging works. And so I was having an issue And that was whenever I summoned an armor stand, no matter where it was summoned. So if it was summoned there, it would always face that way. And the way that summoning other entities relative to entities works is that, or the way that summoning an arrow works relative to another entity is that it shoots off with the motion in the direction that the entity is facing. So if it's facing this way, then the arrow faced this way, and it always went that way. And that was an issue I was having. So right here, this and this do the exact same thing, just with different commands, and yes, you need both of them, because if you only have one, then it's not accurate. So what this does is this is a fill clock, and this is constantly testing for for all players to be facing in a certain direction. So this one tests for the player to be facing the west, north, and the east. And what that does is it will execute and do an entity data at all armor stands named with their to turn them. So it does a rotation and it turns their entire body to be facing whichever direction. And that is the exact same in here. This executes at the nearest player with that rotation to do an entity data. And so it does the entire thing, and then that's how I get it to turn. And so the arrow will be facing off. And so right here, this was another bug I was having. For some reason, whenever the armor stand faced north, and only north, it summoned 2 arrows. And that was an issue because then the machine didn't know which arrow to teleport you to, and then the machine didn't work. So what this does is this is constantly testing for an ability arrow. And there's only one arrow, which means it's not facing north, then it's not with strength of 1, so it does nothing. But if it's facing north, there's 2, so it sends out a strength of 2, and this kills ability arrow, but it only kills 1. So it kills 1. And so that's how the entire system works. Right here, this is the system that I used for my ice bow video, where I'm testing for a certain item. So in this case, it's a fishing rod with a display name of whip. And so you could do it so that it would only do this if you were holding a whip. So if you wanted like a fishing rod to go fishing and you wanted a whip, then this is the way that you would do it. So then if I just get out the comparator right here, and then is this named the whip? Yes, it is. Okay, so then put that there, and then move off. You can see it turns off, and then if I hold it again, it turns back on. And that's the exact same way that I did it in my other video. But so now if we come over here, I'll be putting both of these commands into the description, so you can just copy and paste them. Right here, this is the one command to generate the arrows. And so you need the little $ pause and the $ motion things. And you also, and then this is for the summoning of the armor stand. So you need the and rot and the impulse thing. And so what I did forget to add is no gravity. So you're going to want that also. Because if you don't have that, then a bug happens where if the armor stand is, if you're standing on the very edge, right here, and the armor stand is summoned, it'll summon right there and then fall. So it'll fall, and then the arrow will go like right over here, and then the whole system would break. So make sure you have no gravity. I'll be putting that in the description, so you can just copy and paste it. So now I'll hop into MC Edit, and I will show you how to generate the command blocks.
Okay guys, so before we start, I'd just like to apologize for the audio and that part being so bad. Like I said, I've been trying to record this. This is the 4th time I've tried to record this, and it's just getting really aggravating because I'm always getting interrupted, and I don't have a lot of time to record this, so I'm gonna upload it like that anyway. I plugged in my mic after I opened up a Mirillis action, and so it didn't load. It used my system default mic, which is inside my new PC, so that's why it sounded really bad like that, and I didn't realize. And I am so sorry that happened, but you can still hear, I watched it, and you can still hear and understand there's just background noise, and I'm really sorry about that. But like I said, I'm putting a world download in the description, so you can go and check it out if you didn't fully understand. I am so sorry. I'm going to be leaving a thing at the very start of the video to warn you before this happens. I'm not going to be re-recording it again because, like I said, I've tried to record it like 4 or 5 different times, and I got it done. It's done. So I'm just going to go into MC Edit, open up the new world. That's what I named it. I named it New World. I'll rename it for later. But so here's the world. here is the command blocks that we put the commands in. And so what you want to do is you want to click and then click again, and you don't want to double click too fast, because if you double click, then it opens up this. So just cancel, and so one click, then go to filter, and go to CP Directions Rex Mod. So it was edited by Nanorex. So what you want to do is I have mine set to degree of 5, and a motion factor. Actually, wait, yeah, this is for the arrows. A motion factor of, I put mine at 0.7, I believe I did, just because if you put it too fast, like if you put it at 1, if you put it at 2, even 1, then the arrow sometimes flies off way too fast and it glitches through the block, and you end up outside. And I was actually ending up, it would glitch through the wall and even glitch through all the barriers because I had it set so fast, and I would end up underneath the world. So set it to like 0.7 or something. Then you want to set position and then change this to 1. Then just click filter, and it's going to open up a little dialog box. I'm just going to name it Toot for tutorial, and then save. Then you want to go back to select this one, and filter. Go ahead and change this back to 0.1 because it doesn't matter. Save all this, press filter, and then I'm going to put armor stand. Tutorial. Yep, you see I already have it saved a bunch of times because I, tried to record this a bunch. Then go back to select, fly over here, go into imports, and import Toot. So here it is, and then you just press it, press import, then you wait, and it's going really slow, and I don't know why. There we go. Alright, come on. But so yeah, you get the idea. So you import it, or you select it, then you filter, then you save the schematic, and then you just import the schematic, and you see there it is. Then we go to import, and armor stand tutorial right here. Import this one, and you can put it anywhere. Doesn't matter, I'm not going to save this because I don't want the world to be messy. But so that's basically how it all works. So now it should work perfectly, and that's it, guys. Go ahead and download the world if you want to take a closer look, and I know a lot of you probably will, because that audio is terrible and you might not be able to understand it, but I was able to understand it, so you should be able to. There's just aggravating background noise, and I can't say sorry enough for that. I really can't, but I just can't record that again. It's been almost a week since I've had this done, and I need to post something. So that's it, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I actually don't expect a lot of likes on this video just because of how bad the audio is, because a lot of you are probably going to call me selfish for not redoing it, and I completely understand. I can see how you guys would call me selfish. I can understand that. But if you did enjoy and you can understand why I'm not re-recording, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe if anything I did was worth a subscription. Have a good day, guys. Goodbye.